The EU has failed completely on the question of Palestine and Israel's war crimes. To be honest, stupid approach. And they have vacated the stage now to Donald Trump. And that's deeply concerning for everybody. Unfortunate thing is that since the so-called ceasefire, Palestine has gone off the agenda for the European leadership, and while there's a drip feed of aid getting in, which has, I suppose, stopped us getting to the point where we were in July, it's allowed it to slip completely from the agenda. So it's our obligation, I guess, as chair of the delegation and the MEPs I work with very closely who, hold Palestine very close to their hearts, is to make sure that the blockade is lifted, that the aid gets in, the machinery that's required to locate the bodies, to get a full and accurate picture of just how many people have died in this genocide. But we also know from various meetings we've held that there's about 120,000 tents that are also being prevented from getting in because so-called tent poles are seen as potential weapons. So it's completely unsatisfactory. And there will be a debate in the plenary next week in Strasbourg, and I will be raising those issues and about how there isn't a ceasefire as such. It has just reduced the level of killing and that the blockade has not been lifted, and the EU absolutely needs to be putting pressure on Israel to demand that the blockade is lifted and that people are able to get in and to assess exactly what has happened in Gaza. The EU has failed completely on the question of Palestine and Israel's war crimes, but when the Trump plan was first talked about, the European Commission then announced that they were not going to proceed with suspending the trade agreement and with the sanctions that they were proposing to take against Israel. That was a fatal error on their part because, one, not only from a humanitarian and international law perspective, they decided that they were no longer going to hold Israel accountable, but also just from a strategic position of you removed yourself from the conversation. And then everything moves so slowly in the EU that to do that, to say we're pausing it, when we were starting to build the momentum to get member states to change their positions, it just seems strategically to be such a to be honest, stupid approach. And they have vacated the stage now to Donald Trump. And that's deeply concerning for everybody, but also the EU, now needs to, I suppose, reflect on that and to bring back that proposal and to once again talk about, ending Horizon funding, suspending full trade, having the sanctions, having the blocking statute on the ICC court for the arrest warrants. So all of those things need to come back onto the agenda.